Alright, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I saw this furry cult in the middle of the desert, uh, and I was extremely creeped out, and I decided to do. So, let's get right into it. Alright, so this story takes place about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. I'm from Nevada, and there's really not much for us to do unless you're 21. Like we're a gambling state. There are a bunch of casinos everywhere. Like there's really nothing for you to do unless you're 21 years old. And because of that, everyone who's under the age of 21, we have these things called bonfires, and bonfires are pretty self-explanatory. We just get a bunch of pallets and then go out to the desert, light them on fire. People like to drink a lot of water and eat a lot of lettuce, is what we'll say. And so one day I'm just chilling, I'm playing video games with my friends, and my buddy Tom, he texts me and he's like, "Hey, there's a fire tonight. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Sure." I have literally nothing to do. I'm down. And so Tom comes and gets me. We end up getting some food, and then we literally just sit there and wait until the meetup. And we're kind of just talking, messing around. Other people start showing up, so we kind of talk to them, and eventually we all get in our cars and we head out. And for a little detail, the way this bonfire was set up is there were you would basically be on a dirt road and then it would break off. So there was like this steep hill you could go down, or this or not a steep hill that kind of just goes straight down and then you could turn. But both of them end up turning, and then it's just a straight road, and ahead there's basically flat land for people to bring their RVs, dogs, like anything really. And most of the time we go out there, there are people camping out there with their trucks, tents, like all kinds of stuff. But if once you turn and you keep going to the left, there's just a bunch of fire pits, and that's usually where we have it. Usually there's just a bunch of like burned ashes of the pallets, and it's a fun time. Like we play music, people drink a lot of water, eat a lot of salad. It's a good time. Usually, I do have some stories of like fights that have happened that I've seen. Uh, there, I'll probably tell it at some point, but there was a time that a fire I went to got shot up. Like it can be a fun time, but at the exact same time, like things can go from 0 to 100 super quickly, just depending on like who's there and who's not. But eventually we get there. Everyone start is like circling around. They light it, and we're all just having a good time. And I had been drinking a lot of water, so obviously I had to go to the bathroom. So I walk up to one of my buddies and I'm like, "Hey, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." He's like, "Cool, sweet, no deal. Like, you do you. I'll see you in a minute." So I turn to the left and I start walking. And I walk far away enough to where I can very, very slightly see the fire. Like it's maybe the size of like a crumb, maybe. And so I'm like, cool. Like I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna pee. Like it's gonna be good. So I'm doing my business, and I realize that there's a fire maybe 50 to 100 feet away from me. So, because I'm very hydrated, I let my curiosity get the best of me. And so I start walking over there after I've done my business. And so I'm walking, and I see that there's a fire, and I see like shadows. Now, normally I wouldn't do that because that's kind of stupid, but my hydrated self got the best of me, and I started walking over there, and I just see these hooded figures. So I'm like, that's really strange. That's not good. Like I'm not I'm that's not a good vibe. But I continue to go over there for some reason, and all I see once I get closer is I see fur. and what looks like the paws of a dog or like some kind of animal. So I'm like, that's weird. There are animals that stand on two legs, but I'm 1,000% sure dogs do not stand on their two legs. And I can't see their face or anything, so I'm kind of just sitting there waiting to see what happens next. And then I hear that they just start howling out of nowhere, and now I'm creeped out. But I'm at that point where I'm like a little too scared to move, but I probably should. And they just start walking around this fire, and walking around this fire and howling. So now I'm like, this is definitely not a good thing. So they're walking around, and eventually they take off their hoods, and I see that the back of their head, again, I can't see very well because I have that drunk goggles on, but what I do see are two pointed ears like a dog or a wolf or something. And so I don't know, the main guy in charge or whatever starts saying, brothers and sisters, tonight we worship Mars, the god of the wolf. And first, at this point, I'm like, isn't Mars, a planet? Like, out of every god they could have chose, why Mars? And for the matter of fact, why even name a god Mars in the first place? But that's besides the point. I really didn't want to ask them any of that. So I slowly start walking back. And I guess I had stepped on a branch or maybe some sagebrush or something. But I hear like a little snap, and all of them turn and look at me. And at this point, I'm sweating bullets. Like, you could feel a pool to the very, very, very top. That's how scared I was. That's how, I'm not even gonna lie, I peed myself a little, because that's extremely creepy. So I just turn and I book it to the other way. I was running so fast, I could have beat Usain Bolt's time. Like, I was sprinting for my life. I had never seen some shit like that before, and I didn't want to stick around and ask what they were doing. I just booked it. And at this point, I had been gone long enough to where my friends were like, we should probably go and look for him. So my friends are walking towards me in the dark with these little flashlights, and I see them, or I see the flashlights, and so I'm running, and I finally get to them, and I'm bent over, and I'm panting, and I'm freaking out, and all I can really muster was, furry, cold, sacrifice Mars. And they're like, dude, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And so I'm like, there's a furry cult that way. I'm not going that way anymore. I want to go back to the fire. And my friends obviously don't believe me. They think I'm a little too hydrated and think I'm making this entire thing up. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm being serious. There is something going on out there, and I don't want to go back and find out. I don't want to be fucking sacrificed or have my heart ripped out of my chest like in Indiana Jones. Like, I'm not going back. But they call me a bitch, and they're like, come on, bro, like, let's do this. So eventually we walk back to where I saw this whole furry cult going on, and there's nothing there. And my friends are like, dude, like, haha, like, really funny, you almost had us. And I am as white as a ghost. I am as white as mayonnaise, as the fucking snow, just ghost white. And I'm like, dude, I swear on everything I love, on my mom, my sister, my family, my unborn child, like, I swear there was a furry cult doing some strange shit out here. And of course they don't believe me, so we all walk back to the fire. The rest of the night was pretty uneventful. I have some more stories that kind of happened during a fire, but anytime we would go to this fire, my friends would always make fun of me, like, watch out for the furry cult, haha, like, you're crazy, ha. Yeah, so that's going to do for this story time. Hope you guys liked. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me a hate comment. Leave me a positive comment. I'm going to try and upload every day. And it's been your boy Nani, and I'm out. Peace.